All right, let's try this again. I just started a stream and looked down and noticed my microphone was not working. I actually could have not ended this. I didn't know what it was. I just turned this computer on, so I thought maybe it was some sort of glitch, but and it was a glitch, but it was a minor glitch. I got it fixed pretty quickly. So yeah, so I didn't even check to see if all my cameras are working. Are all my cameras working? They appear to all be working. Fantastico. All right, so awkward little beginning of a live stream where you have to get all your bits together and everything working. So it happened. And now I probably should have made a coffee before I started the live stream because I need a coffee. So join the stream. Jump into chat, say hello. I'm going to make myself some coffee. I actually, I can talk to you whilst I'm doing that, I suppose. So, yeah. I actually, the other day, we had, we broke a record for temperatures on the island, as the way I understand it. It got to 24, which is the hottest on record for the month of May in like a while, like a long time. It was actually really good because it let me get an idea of what it's going to be like in this location when it gets a little warmer in the summer, because we have no idea what it's going to be like. So it had gotten quite warm in the front, in the candy store, and I had the window open. We have a few windows that open. I do have a giant fan in the back, which if I had left that on all day, we probably would have been okay. But I didn't. I turned it on and off. From time to time, it will go on and off. At one point, I opened the bay door, not all the way, but just opened it up like a foot or so, so that it would let air in and stuff, and that actually worked really well. When I came in today, it was actually 31 in the front room, which is way too hot, right? So sorry, my espresso machine has run out of water and multitasking. So it was cooler outside. I opened up the window in the front. I turned on the fan in the back. I took care of a couple of little tasks, which took me like maybe 5 minutes. So it was 31 when I started. 5 or 6 minutes later, when I went out into the front room to check the temperature, it had already dropped to like 21. So it had dropped 10 degrees in just that short amount of time. That's how much air that fan in the back was. It's pretty nice. So I'm just trying to find something. I gotta get it sooner than later. I need to get that back bay door blocked off so that we can open it up all the way. I'd have it open right now if I could, but I can't because people will fall out of it and hurt themselves. So there was a guy that posted a thing on like Facebook Marketplace or something about he does chain link fence stuff, and in true Facebook Marketplace form, I messaged him and I got no response. I thought a chain link fence would be fine if we got like a 5-foot chain link fence that just went across there. It's relatively light. The track that the bay door goes in is very thick metal, so we can drill a couple small holes in it and bolt some crap on if we need to. I have to see this guy standing in front of Palooka just in case he needs Are they putting money in? Did you just put money in there?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You don't have to put money in these.
Yeah.
They're all set to free play.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Just letting you know.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're putting money in just for the shits and giggles of it, but he seemed like he knew. But he was going to put money in it anyway. Yeah, so I thought chain link fence would be good because we could bolt it up in the summer, and if we ever need to move it, we can just take a couple bolts off and move it out of the way. I don't really foresee us needing it for anything. I don't take anything in through the back because there's stairs back there, and like that bay door, it's 4 feet above the ground. Well, it comes, when I'm down in front, it comes to back here. So yeah, a little bit more than 4 feet probably. Any machine that I've brought in so far, I bring in through the front door. So I don't foresee us needing to use that loading bay very often. So it would be nice to have something that we could move. I did think Sophia she's in BC right now. She was in Victoria. There's a pinball arcade there. I forget the name of it. The space used to have a almost like a used store or a pawn shop or something like that, and they had bay doors. There were two stores side by side. They both, if I remember right, they both had bay doors that opened up, and one of them had a bar top that kind of went across the bay door. But it didn't have anything below it, so it was just the bar top, so you could sit at it, but you can go under it because it was at the sidewalk level. And they had she said that they had well, she sent me a picture. They had the bay door open the other day when she was there. And I do like the idea of having a bar top that someone could sit at. So I might rethink things and just build something out of wood. I mean, it really doesn't have to be anything fancy. We can put a 2x4 on the bottom, 2x4 at the top, drill a bunch of holes in it, get some in fact, I might even have enough metal electrical conduit, cut it to size, use it as little railings going across, small enough so kids can't fit their heads through it. Just do that, 2x4 at the bottom, 2x4 at the top, and then figure out a way to bolt that to the rails. And then just build a little bar top thing that will screw into the rails, into the little fence thingy dealio. That would probably work. I have some, it's only 8 feet going across, so it's not massive. And I have some really big metal L brackets. So that could go on either 2x4 on either end. Maybe I'll do one in the middle or something. I don't know. I don't think it would be very difficult to figure something out. And then that way, we do have some bar stools and stuff kind of floating around. So I could put those in front of it, and people could sit there and look outside. I like the idea of the chain link fence. That was my original idea because it's fairly see-through. And when we have that bay door open at night, everybody that drives by will be able to look into the arcade and see all the lights and all the hubbub, and it'll be like, oh, that's the place I want to go, right? Because it looks really good from outside. Where the hell is my coffee? I made a coffee, then I did something else, and I did not even get my coffee finished. Yeah. Oh, that's why. I ran out of water. All right, now I have my coffee. Fantastico. So the big news here, I guess, is I had
Thanks so much for tonight.
yeah, thanks for coming in. Yeah.
What did he do?
Thanks. Thanks. See you later.
Man, I can't wait to go to the hot tub.
I don't know that was about butt t-shirts and ascots and like ascots is the trend now. Maybe I don't know. That'd be funny. Like two of them had like an ascot sort of thing going on. Like, all right. Hi.
The white flipper on the hard body one isn't flipping.
Let's have a look. Sometimes it's just something stupid. Huh. Very sparky. Let's clean that. All right, let's try that.
Hard to maintain.
They break all the time. Yeah. All right, there we go. Yeah, there's so many moving parts, and especially with that, I mean, that's a heavy metal ball, right? and it's slamming into targets and stuff. So it's just a opportunity for things to just start falling apart, right?
Oh, yeah.
A lot of vibration and everything, and
Yeah, I'm sure on some of the older ones too.
this era is actually more reliable than the newer ones usually, because they're completely mechanical.
Yeah.
There's no computer control, there's no electronics, they're just switches and relays and a motor. And this one is actually, the only reason this one's offline right now is because I was moving some electrical stuff around, moving these and plugging some stuff in. I plugged this one into the power strip, and there's a huge spark. And I was like, oh, okay, well, the end, I looked at the end, and it was just, someone had put a new end on it at some point. It was just kind of a messed up situation. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, I have another power cord. I'll put a new power cord on it. The power cord, there's a transformer here, down inside the cabinet, about here. There's the line cord goes out along the bottom, up through the out, and that's what plugs into the wall. That entire thing, all the insulation on the 3 wires on the inside of that cable has just deteriorated. So this one, it's funny is that this one was a fire waiting to happen because of that. Right? And it makes me think that, you know, I probably on some of the older ones, they're getting to that point, I should probably check them.
Yeah.
I should probably open them all up and go through and look at all the transformers and all the lines that come in and everything. So end result is I didn't have a cable long enough to go from the transformer out and everything. So yeah, but that's the other reason why at night we kill the breakers for all of these. We don't leave these.
Oh, yeah.
There's no power going to them at all at night, just
Yeah,
because
that makes sense.
they're
You never
old
know
and
what'll happen, right? Yeah.
I mean, these are pretty good, but I've had a few of these smoke solenoids. You know, it's like there's blue smoke coming out of the machine, and if it were to sit and run, it might catch on fire. I mean, that's nothing that's going to happen at night, but
Well, yeah, you never know.
All right, you're good to go. All right, pardon me, I need to wash my hands now. Okay, I'm back, and now I can finally have some coffee, because I want some coffee. Yeah, that was a hard body flipper wasn't working. That's what I went to go look at, and it, like I told him, sometimes it's something just sort of stupid, and luckily it was something just kind of stupid. It was, I think it was the end of stroke switch just had too much crap on it, and it wasn't making a good complete connection. I opened it up and everything looked intact. I mean, sometimes if there's just no power whatsoever, it's usually the flipper button switch or the end of stroke switch or something like that. It's usually nothing major. A lot of types of wires, I find the wires that are soldered onto the flipper solenoids, those break a lot of times. I've fixed a number of those. So that's kind of what I expected, but everything was there. And then I flicked the switches a couple of times, and then it started working. So I just cleaned off the contacts between the end of stroke switch, because all the power on those, all the power comes down. Is my microphone really hot? It looks really loud. Sorry, I will turn that down. All the power to initially flip the flipper goes in through the end of stroke switch, and as you flip, when you flip, it disconnects that high power original flip. A lot of the flippers have two coils in them. They have a low power and a high power. So the high power is what flips it, and the low power is what holds it in place, holds it up. So it disconnects that high power line, and the end of stroke switch is the high power. It disconnects that, and then the low power just holds it in place. So if that end of stroke switch isn't working, then there's a good chance that your flipper won't even flip. And then if your flipper shotguns, like if it's just if it won't stay up, a lot of times that's just a simple thing. That's just the connector for the low power. Just that wire has broken off, or something like that is wrong with it, because it doesn't have power to hold the flipper up. So it drops it down, which reconnects the high power, which makes the flipper flip again. So if you just hold the flipper and it'll just sit and flutter. So the two big, let's see, well, the one big piece of news, I normally have Monday and Tuesdays off, and I work Wednesday through Sunday here. In the summer, we have Jacob comes in and works a couple days for us, or every once in a while, if we need, the rest of the time he'll come in and work days. So we've got Jacob coming in now on Wednesdays, for just for now. We'll see how it goes in the next few weeks, but the idea is so that I have an extra day that I can work in here doing stuff. So last Wednesday, he was working the arcade. I was here as well, but I didn't have to pay attention to the arcade. I could just dick around. So I put in stairs. So we have stairs now going to the upstairs, which instead of just climbing a ladder, which is really nice. Subsequently, we moved all of the inventory, and the other nice thing is, while he was here, that means I could use him as manual labor. So he helped move all the inventory upstairs. We moved my desk and my computer is all upstairs now. It's actually right there. I need to get a couple more shelving units to put up there to just to tidy things up. But my workshop is almost empty now. That's the ultimate goal of what's going on right now. Is I need to get my workshop up and going. I had what game was it? I forget what game it was. Some game had some sort of issue, and I needed to work on it, but I couldn't frickin' find anything. I couldn't get my tools. My cart that I had set up at the other place. I have a cart with a soldering iron, a bunch of tools, screwdrivers, like everything. So I could wheel it, because I didn't have a workshop in the other place. I could wheel my cart to the machine, and almost everything was on my machine. But then in the back room, I had all of my parts and stuff were there. Easy to go through and find whatever I might need. So here, I have none of those luxuries. I couldn't even get my cart out of the back room because there was all the other shit in front of it. There's just sort of, I had to step over boxes to get my tools and stuff. So the main thing about getting the stairs in is so that we can get all the shit upstairs, we can get the desk upstairs, we can get everything upstairs, and then I can get my workshop going. And once my workshop is going, then I can fix up more games and I can sell them, and I can get all the games out of my workshop at home that I'm never going to have in the arcade. And then everyone will be happy. I don't know how many games that I've decided will never. I bought them thinking if I didn't know how much. Backing up, when I was buying, we had about 8 games at the house when we decided to open the arcade, which meant I needed to buy a whole lot more games. So I spent 2.5 years hunting for games, and somewhere I figured to open I'd need 25 to 30 games. That was my target. When I got 25 games, we started looking for a space in the Vancouver area, and that just went on for 1.5 years. I could never find anywhere that was either affordable, because it's a bit of a risk, right? You're signing a multiple year lease on a space, so and then you have to spend all this money. You have to invest a bunch of money to fix the space up. With this, there's a bunch of electrical, a bunch of other crap you got to do. So even if you did sort of bare minimum, you're still looking at, 20,000 or more throwing in just the space alone, plus all the machines that should be bought. So the idea was that I was just going to buy these machines, and we didn't know how many we were going to need. We didn't know how big the space was going to be. So I have a bunch of games that they've never been in here. They need a little bit of tinkering to get them going. And the idea was that I would swap them around. So, Flash has been in here pretty much since day one. I'm saying this now, and I think someone's actually playing it. Nope, nobody is playing it. So it doesn't get played a lot in Flash. The player's quality, it's not a beautiful machine, but it plays okay. It's no problem with it. So I got to get that out of here. There's no point in having a Flash if nobody's going to play it. It's just taking up space. I would rather get that out, put something else in that people will play. I bought a Bally Motor Dome. I got it for dirt cheap, like $400 cheap kind of thing. Tinkered, it was filthy, disgusting. The playfield was black, like it was horrible. I cleaned it all up, fixed it all up. I took that whole thing apart and put it all back together again, cleaned it all up. Got it working fine. I thought it was hilarious. The soundtrack, the ma 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 ma, kills me every time. The game sucks, right? It's a horrible game. But what I really like about the game, though, and I'll play it for an hour, is there's a certain shot where there's a ramp up on the right-hand side that goes up and around to a little playfield on the left-hand side. So in front of that ramp is a drop target. You got to hit the drop target down. Then you go up the ramp and around. Now you're on the second level, and there's a little tiny flipper there. You have to time it just right, hit that ball with the little tiny flipper, and then it goes across a ramp up to the very top right corner and lands in a saucer up there. When you do that, you get a letter. You get the Motor Dome letter. And once you spell Motor Dome, you get a cookie or something. I don't even remember. I've never done it. But that's the fun, right? Is I don't care about the rest of the rules. That's the objective I want to play. And I like playing it. It's fun. Problem with Motor Dome is, unless you know that, you walk up to this crappy game that has the flow of chopping wood, and you're going to hate it. And that's what I don't know how many times in the arcade, it was at ball 2, and someone just walked away from it because it was like, they play it, and it sounds like they're building a shed, and it goes, ma, 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 and it's really annoying, and it's not very interesting to look at, and yeah. So Motor Dome, fixed it. Something had happened to it. It started acting quirky or something. So Motor Dome needs to go. So I'll sell that, right? But these are all things that I need to get into the workshop. I need to tinker with them before I even list them, because if Motor Dome, I could probably easily get like $1,200 for it right now. But if I spend a day on it, I could probably get that up to $2,000. So it's worth it, right? I don't even know what that game goes for. We're a little starved for pinball machines in the area. there's not a lot of inventory usually in the Maritimes for pinball, for used pinball. So I've got, I don't even know how many machines I have. I've got this I think is about a third of my collection of what you see here. I have so many more pinball machines, so I can get rid of a few of them. And then there are some that I want to bring in, like if I get rid of Flash, I have a Lightning, which is a really kind of cool multi-level game. It's interesting. That might do better than Flash. So I can sell Flash, I can make some money back on it, and put Lightning in, get that. But Lightning needs it completely cleaned up, and it needs just a little bit of touch-up. So that's something that I could do fairly quickly, get it up and going, and bring it in here, swap some of these things out, and mostly I'm more interested in selling some that will never be back in here, like Motordome. I have 2 Blackwater 100s now. Like, I had bought one. It worked beautifully. I cleaned it up. It worked beautifully. And we packed it up, and then when we set up at the other location, I turned it on and it wouldn't power up. And so I took the back glass off, and I wiggled some boards. I wiggled connectors, and I turned it on, and there was a puff of smoke, and flashes came from several different boards at the same time. So I packed it up and I got it out of here. But I really wanted a Blackwater 100. I thought it was a fun, interesting game that I thought people might really get into. So a guy in Halifax had one for sale in pretty good shape. I bought it. I brought it in. It ran for a little while. Some people really got into it, but I would say 80% of the people, they didn't understand that you launch 3 balls up to the top and then drop them as like it's a race. That confused the crap out of people. So, which was apparently one of the problems with the game when it sold. And then they came out with a rule set that it's just 1 ball. And I have that. I have a chip with that loaded on. I can load that in. But that kind of defeats the purpose of the game. So, Outlane. Why am I? Oh, close. Outlane Pinball. Sell Flash and get a Flash Gordon. Yes. I would like to get a Flash Gordon. That would be a good one. Sorry, Outlane. I didn't see you. I didn't see you in chat. I had a window over it. I just noticed that something popped up. So I wasn't ignoring you. I'm just stupid. I'm gonna tend to customers just a second. I didn't know if they needed something, if they were waiting for something or whatever. So, yeah. So the stairs going upstairs are in. The workshop is about half cleaned out of garbage. I was going to my workbench at home. I built a workbench. It's like just a big common like wood workbench, and I have another bench that I made it out of a big shelving unit. So there's shelf on the bottom. There's a shelf, and then the countertop shelf. I put a piece of plywood on it so that I can do soldering and I can work on stuff right there.
Thanks, Sam.
You guys leaving already?
They want to go eat. Are we able to come back with that, or once you leave your?
Oh, of course.
Okay, just wasn't sure. I'm not sure. I don't know what the plan is, but
Oh, yeah.
they want to go eat, so I want to pinball.
Yeah, go eat, come back.
There you go. I was getting I was showing my friend that she'd never seen him. She's younger than me, but the video you made about the candy sticks and the cigarettes and stuff there. I said, yeah. I said, back when I was a kid, those Popeye ones had a little red end on them.
That's right.
They're called candy cigarettes then.
Well, and that's so.
Who had the paper? I remember the paper ones with the blue on and the
Yeah.
powder come out.
We didn't have the Popeye ones. We had these.
Yeah,
And
okay.
it's the same candy stick thing, and they
Yeah.
had the little red end on them.
Yeah.
And then the bubblegum ones had the paper with the little filter looking thing on the paper.
Oh, like
So
the orange.
I might have an open one here.
But I remember when I was a kid, we used to get this paper with the glue on and the powder kettle. It looked like smoke, but it was hilarious. Well, I haven't seen these since I was a kid.
I must have smoked them all. I had one. I opened up some of this and try it, and then I just throw them in the drawer down there. But
Yeah,
I had
when,
some.
when you did that video, I said,
Had
I just
some.
remember those when we were kids. The little, the ones you glue on and the powder come flying out of them like powder.
Yeah.
I love the new spot. It was nice.
Yeah, I like this space. Yeah, it's been good. And it was actually, yesterday was kind of nice because we had that nice hot day and we didn't know what the space was going to be like
Oh, yeah.
in hotter weather.
Yeah.
And I think we'll be able to survive with the bay door that we
Just
can
gonna
open.
open up, get some air, circulate through us. All that.
Yeah.
Now I'm just gonna get you to convince don't want to Montague now, see?
Well, that would be, yeah, I mean, that's something that we would do later, like in a couple of years.
Yeah.
If I
Every
have,
time I see a place open up, I go, that'd be a perfect place for another pinball. That place where the main street across from Sobeys used to have the bed place that's on mattresses there.
where?
You know the plaza across from Sobeys and Monty where Greco is? It's got the
Yes.
shop in.
Yeah.
Like the other end closest to the bakery that had the mattresses.
Okay.
There. That just went out for rent. It's like I'm going, that'd be a perfect spot for an arcade.
I don't know if those are big enough.
Yeah, I don't know.
I was in, there's like the pigeonhole or whatever is
The pigeon was
right
small,
there.
but the other one was like a double one or something. It was
Oh,
pretty
okay.
big. Because they had a big mattress showroom with like dozens of beds and stuff set up. in
Okay.
there. Might have been probably, I'd be willing to bet it's probably bigger than the other location up there.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem, but
Yeah, that was about
probably won't be there in a couple years
1400.
now. So.
Yeah.
We, yeah, because, no, we were saying that it would be great to have put one down home. But
Well, it's one of those things too. Is that the strange thing about people on the island, they don't like to drive for more than 10 minutes, right?
Oh, yeah.
So if I opened up something in Montague, it would handle all the people that are kind of in that vicinity.
that way that don't
I had
bother you
people.
down.
I've had people come in here
Yeah.
and they say, "I've been trying to get in for so long, and we just haven't." I mean,
like
we
it's
live
500 miles away.
They're like, yeah, we live so far away and we just haven't had a chance to come in and all this. Like, oh, where do you live? Stratford.
You're 10 minutes away, bypassed and you're here.
I know. Like, oh yeah, I guess that is far away, but you know, I live in Wood Island, so like.
Oh yeah, exactly. You're coming from Rhode Island, so.
Yeah, it's the strangest thing. I've never met a community of people that considered a 10-minute drive like out of control.
We're
Weird.
to Boston
right?
and try to make a half-hour drive. It takes 2 hours to make this traffic.
Oh, that's it.
Here,
Yeah.
there's no traffic. There's nothing like that to deal with. It's pretty easy to navigate around here and stuff. But yeah, that seems to be the way around here. But oh well, I'm just a fan because I haven't been in only a handful of times. I'm doing it a little while now. So see, we go. We do. All right, we'll get something to eat and see what happens. I might be back. So,
Yeah, come back.
all right, we'll see you after. Take care.
All right. See ya. I forget what I was talking about. Oh, I was talking about, yeah, fixing up machines and selling machines and da-da-da-da-da. I'm really excited about getting my, oh, I remember what I was talking about. I was talking about my bench. So it's a big industrial shelving unit thing. I put a shelf waist height, put a piece of plywood over that so that I can use that as my bench. And then there's a shelf above it that I can store crap and everything. So the plan was I was going to take the one from home and bring it in here. And I was thinking about that. It's like, I gotta break down the one at home. I gotta get a bunch of shit out of the way because my workshop at home is filled with machines, video games and pinball machines. There's not enough room to really work in there or anything. It's a big horrible mess. Like, I really don't want to break this down. And my plan is, once I get all of the pinball machines and all the garbage out of the lower, I guess it's back. My workshop at home is an outbuilding, 25-foot square. There's an upper and lower floor. Upper floor is the studio and my office and everything. The recording studio office upstairs. And I hate being up there. It's horrible for the studio just because it has pitched roofs, pitched ceiling, and it's not comfortable to work up there. And when I'm trying to write music or do something like that, I want to be comfortable, right? Because if I'm fighting with having the space not working very well, then it's easy to lose my train of thought, my creative train of thought. I start shouting expletives and I just turn everything off and leave. That's happened numerous times in this one. I've had it up and running for a while, and I've only managed to squeeze down 2 songs up there, and they were a chore. They were hard to get into. So my plan is to take a bit more, about 2/3 of the workshop downstairs. I'll turn that into my new studio. I'll move my mixing board and my monitors and a bunch of synths and keyboards and outboard gear, all that stuff. That will all go downstairs. The monitor and the mouse and the keyboard for the recording computer, that will go downstairs. The recording computer will stay upstairs. The drums will stay upstairs. All the acoustic shit stays upstairs. So upstairs I'll have a monitor that would be attached to the recording studio, so I can interact with recordings and stuff up there. I just won't be able to mess with the mixing board. So if I'm doing vocals or something, I could do those upstairs. All I gotta do is just get my mic ready to go, and I can do that. I can have the microphone down, get it set up, take it upstairs, plug it in, off I go. And I can start and stop things and set at least my DAW recording levels if I needed to. And same with the drums. If I'm using the electronic kit, which is a big kit, or I can actually get like a small, I would like to get a small acoustic trap set, like jazz kit. Something I can play with brushes, because you cannot play anything on drums with brushes if it's an electronic kit. It doesn't work well. There's no good emulation for brush sounds unless you're just hitting it. But you slide the brushes across the head to get a particular sound, and you can't do that electronically. So that's the plan. But I need to get everything out of there. But that workbench made out of the shelving unit would stay, because I would still use it for stuff like that's what if I have to fix a synthesizer or something, ideally that's where I'm going to be fixing it. So that needs to stay. So I told Sophia, and the thought of like breaking that all down, I was like, fuck this. I think that the arcade can buy a new bench to go in here, and we might need 2, depending on how I end up setting it up. I want to have room in there to set up 2 machines. I need room to store a couple machines. I need room for my workbench. I need room for my tools. I need room for my inventory. I think that there's plenty of room there to do it. There's actually will be storage underneath the stairs for some things. So that'll be good. So that's the next thing I need to do, is I need to get the workbench in there. And then I have a lot of bins and things with parts. Some are upstairs, some are down there. And so when the workbench, then I can organize everything. And That's the plan going forward. And that's I have completely stopped with working on the espresso stuff right now because I need to get that work. I need to get I need to know where my tools are so that I can work on machines. I have a couple machines that have some slight fiddly problems. They're working fine, but it would be nice to be able to go in and tweak a little thing here and there. But I just don't know where everything is, so I just end up getting frustrated. And I really like the idea of having a machine in there that is kind of that works, that's off to the side. So if I have a machine out here that has severely blown up that will need some serious work, I can pull it into the workshop and put the other one in its place. I have a Gottlieb. Well, it's not a Gottlieb. It's a I don't remember who made it. Funny little machine, and it's jacks to open. Or is that there's an EM one. It's just it's similar to Royal Flush, big wall of drop targets kind of thing. But let's look it up, shall we? Let me get a browser open. Where'd my browser go? Milestar? Is that? For some reason that rings a bell. Milestar? Checks to open pinball. This is it here. Oh, what have I done? Hold on, I've lost my window. Give me a second. That far out. There we go. All right. It's a Gottlieb System 80A. Yeah, Outlane says it's a Gottlieb. It's an 80A, but it's made by Milestar Electronics, was the manufacturer. Funny little machine. And what was it? It was Jacks Open was a remake of the one-player EM game 1977 Jacks Open. And the drop targets are slightly different, but it's just a big, nice bank of drop targets. So it's sort of like kind of like Royal Flush. It's a little like a lot of the Gottlieb card ones, right? Joker Poker is the one that I really want to get. That's been on my list for a while. I love Joker Poker. A 5-ball Joker Poker game, super fun. So I have one of these. I would love to bring that in. I think it would actually do well here. Weird little, like this little thin. It's actually a kind of a small machine. It doesn't seem as long, if I remember. This back box is tiny. Like it's only just a few inches thick. I mean, you can see it next to this Data East machine, how much tinier it is. Yeah, funny little thing. Yeah, so I have one of those I'd like to bring in just to try it out and see how it works. what else do I have that I'd like to bring in? I have the Gottlieb Shipmates, which is a 60s machine that has a roto target. That's a fun, kind of just cute old school game in a funky cabinet. That I would like to bring that one in. I'm trying to think what else I have that I would like to bring into. Oh, and some of the wide bodies. So I have a Stellar War. I have what?
It's a little cooler out here. After a while, you're like, oh.
Yeah. I have the window open here in
it's
it.
nice and
Yeah.
fresh. Or are you finding
I have Gottlieb Volcano, which is the big wide body that they made at the same time that they made Haunted House and Black Hole. There were the three big wide bodies that were all kind of funny and unique. I really like Volcano a lot, but mine is glitchy. It's weird. I had brought it to the other location and almost got it going, but I just fought with it. And the hard thing at the other location, well, and all of this, is I could probably solve the problem, but it's hard to do it when you've got it out in the middle of the floor and you open the thing up and you tinker on it like at 2 o'clock on a Wednesday when nobody's in, and then you make a little headroom into it. Then at 2:15, someone comes in for 2 hours, so you gotta close the machine up so people don't dick around with the inside of the machine. And then you may not be able to get out and tinker with it till another week or something. If it's in the back, that's something when Sophia's here, maybe she's here on a Friday or something. We're both here on a Friday, and if it's available that I could go into the back and work for a few hours, then I could tinker with the thing and get it up and going. So that'll be really nice. That's been a real challenge. Even day one is being able to tinker on machines. So I got Gottlieb going. I got Volcano going a little bit better than it was, but then it had there's a subway system. The ball drops down into the subway. I think it's probably a diode on one of the switches in that matrix line. It's just something that's disconnected or whatever, but it would drop into the subway system and the ball would get lost. So I didn't know where it was and the game would just stop basically. So I think that's all it is. But it's a matter of opening it up and going through and testing everything on that matrix, on that switch matrix, and making sure that everything's fine. Testing, disconnecting, testing a diode, all of them in the thing. And I'm gonna find probably that it's like a diode and one leg has broken off or something. But I like Stellar Wars in here. I'd like to get. I want more big wide bodies. I only have a Genie in here, and I would like to get a couple more of the big old school wide bodies. And so I've got Which ones do I have? I got Stellar Wars. I have James Bond 007. Weird game. That would be a fun one. I have the Volcano, Panthera. One more, I think. Yeah, I can't remember. Something like that. Penalty of Death Productions. What's your worst experience with a pinball game? I don't know. I'll have to think about that. I'm not really sure. I've had a couple of really frustrating kind of want to take it out back and smash it kind of things, but it was just sort of just some stupid little glitchy something or the other. that Genie, for one, getting Genie going was a bit of a thing. So Genie is one of the pinball machines that arrived at my door. Roadshow's wide body, that's right, but it's not like a big wide body, right? It's like the wide body. So it's not the ones. It's not the wide body where you look at it, the playfield looks square, right? Like Genie. What's the difference? Let's look. I'm gonna measure it because I have Royal Rumble. That's a wide body, but not really. Lockdown bar on Roadshow and probably Royal Rumble and some of the other ones. This on the what I call the wide bodies. Lockdown bar 25 inches. On Genie 29 inches. So it's Series 80. Yeah, the big ones. And that's Stellar Wars is the same way. Like Stellar Wars looks like the playfield is square, right? Anyway, so Genie was one of the ones that arrived at my house. I got a call or an email or something, and some guy asked if I'd be interested in buying a Genie and Embryon. Yeah, Embryon's cool. Yeah. And I said, yeah, I'd be interested in a Genie. Like, what's up? And he goes, well, I'm out he was in the middle of BC somewhere, and he ran across a guy that had this Genie and he was selling it. And I said, well, I can't drive out there. He said, no, I'm coming to town. Like, I'm coming home. I live in Vancouver. I'm coming home. I could drop it by your place. And how much? You know, I guess it all depends on that number, right? It was reasonable. I don't remember off the top of my head, but it was $600 or $800 or something. Like, it was a pretty good price. Took a picture of the backlash. He sent me a couple pictures. Backlash was gorgeous, like brand new looking. Playfield was fine, a couple of little minor miffs, and the cabinet is sort of, it's all right. But he wasn't sure if it worked or not. He thought it worked, but he wasn't sure. So I thought, like, I seemed to think it was $600. I'm like, all right, that's fine, because if I have to replace every single board in there, it's still a good deal. But I thought it worked, and so I never did, like, it came in, he brought it by, we put it in the workshop. I did a video on how to set up a giant machine like that, but I never plugged everything in. I was working on something else at the time, and so I had to, like, I did a video on how to set up and break down machines, and so I basically, like, brought that in, set it up, folded it back up, put it back in storage, but I thought it worked. So when I was setting up the other arcade, I brought it in because I thought it was fine, and I turned it on and no go. So what did I do first? I had a new knee warmth board for it. I have a few boards that I just like to keep in stock. So I have a couple of knee warmth boards. I have some ultimate boards and some other shit. A couple of Rod Dog boards. They're brand new. They've never been in machine. So that was my first stop. Was I plugged that in. I ended up getting a power supply board for it. Nothing really seemed to solve the problem. It was just glitchy and weird. So I was like, screw it, I'm going to buy one of Pascal's board. So, and they're like, with that era of Gottlieb, I don't even really mess with those boards. I just kind of throw them away, and I'll put a Pascal board and things. They're cheap. They're all in one. You don't have to mess with stuff. Find some stuff? All right.
You go? I don't know. It seems Japanese. I don't know.
So this is $5 with tax, or you can get 7 for $5. So if you want to go pick out 2 more, it won't cost you any more.
That's, yeah. That is, yes, he is smart. Oh, everybody okay with this? Thank you. Two more. Oh, you still have cherry blossoms. They don't make these anymore.
I know. I found a box of them under a box of something else that I had.
Remember that you went like
Yeah.
it was like after 100 years or something ridiculous. And they're like, we're gonna stop making them. I've never seen anyone eat one. Like clearly they like were successful.
They're just chocolate covered cherries.
Yeah,
With
exactly.
some other. There's something else in the chocolate, like nuts or
Nuts
something.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if it's
I think
peanuts
they've
or.
had the same packaging since probably well before we were born. Like it was always the same.
Peanuts, coconut, maraschino cherries. So there's just a variety of
Yeah.
stuff mixed in the chocolate. They're fine. Like I never really went out of my. If someone
Yeah.
gave me one, I'd eat one. But I never
Yeah.
went out of my way really to buy one.
No fair enough. Oh, hi cheese cherry.
I know. I was looking at the lemon heads.
Are you deciding over there?
Sorry. So yeah. So I got the Pascal board for it. I threw that in there, fired right up. All my problems disappeared except for one. It would, on occasion, not all the time, just sometimes, it would just start registering points. You'd start a game and it would do, and it would just start registering points. If you had a game started and you lifted up the playfield, it would stop. I checked all the switches were fine. I checked a whole bunch of different stuff. And it was intermittent. It wouldn't always do it. So it would run for a couple of weeks, perfectly fine. One day I'd turn it on, get them. All right, you're all good.
Look at that. They rock on. So many things. I'm gonna go see how they're doing. They like decided to play the
I have incoming customers. Give me a half a second. Hi. How you guys?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. You gonna play some games? All right. So we're doing this special. So $15, and you can stay until I kick you out at 11. Just together or separate? You're both taking out your cards.
Together.
Is it going to be a big race to see who's going to pay for it? We can do that. I'm okay. All right, you ready? You get to buy the drinks later.
Exactly.
All right, stamp your hands just to remind me that you paid. There you go. There you go. Everything's set to free play. You don't have to put money in, although earlier today people were putting money in for some reason, but it happens. If you want to put money into the machines, I donate that to a cat rescue thing at the end of the year. So I really need to put a sign up that says that.
That's awesome. All right, thanks.
There you go. do this scene for a little while. I'm gonna. No, I'll start knocking now. Yeah. So anyway, so just intermittent, and I don't remember how much it was scoring, but I was like, okay, I will check all the switches that score this value, because it's got to be one of those, right? And I checked all the switches that scored that value. They all seemed fine. The diodes all seemed fine. It didn't like. I could not track this down, and yeah, and it would run for a couple weeks, and then one day I turn it on, and it would just score, and so I'd throw an order sign on it, and turn it off, and like the next day I'd turn it back on again, going just to troubleshoot it. I'd lift up the playfield, it would stop scoring, I'd set the playfield down, it would be perfectly fine. And so I was doing this for a month or two, and it was just pissing me off. Hold please. Thanks for coming in.
This place is awesome.
Thank you.
That was so much fun. Thank you so much.
Do you show him who's boss?
Well, I tried.
All right, thank you again.
Thanks. See ya. Anyway, so long story long. One day it started to glitch, and it would not stop glitching. And finally, I got really pissed off. I'm like, I'm going to open this up, and I'm not going to stop looking at it until I find it. And it was a diode. I thought I had gone through all of the and tugged on the diodes, but when I solved it, I was like, I'm going to go through every single switch, every single diode, every single solder point under the playfield, because it's something stupid. And it was a leg on one of the diodes had broken off, but it was touching. It was like visually you look at it and it was fine. And so when you lifted it up, it was in such a position that it would touch, like just the diode body was on top or something, it would touch, and then when you set it back down again, sometimes it would shift up enough so it would just disconnect. Yeah, that was a thing. Just because it was so frustrating, it was so stupid. I knew it was stupid, and it was pissing me off that I couldn't find the stupid. Strange Science is doing the same. So I have a Bally Strange Science. And there's something in the switch matrix. That's all it is. And when the ball lands into the saucer, one of the saucers on the right-hand side, sometimes it doesn't know it's there. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it doesn't. And it was the same sort of thing that every time I lifted it up, I couldn't find it, and it's not. Now it possibly could be on the connector. But I checked that, it seemed to be making a good connection, so maybe not, I don't know. But it's one of those things I'll be able to solve it. If I could put it in the back, open it up, hammer away on it for about an hour without interruptions, I'll find it, right? But when it's out in an arcade, forget about it. And it's not, like if it's in a row too, that's even doubly uncomfortable, because you got to kind of mash the things apart, so you have to kind of squeeze in, and it's not comfortable to work on machines in a row. So that was probably that one was the Genie one. I wouldn't say it was my worst experience, but it was definitely a frustrating experience. I have a funny story about probably my worst experience buying a pinball machine. I can share that. It's called a penalty of death production. Sorry, I missed this. It says I've been into pinball since I was 10 in the 90s. Pretty cool channel. Thank you. I'll see what I can do to promote you. Thank you very much. I will have more videos coming out soon. It's just like we've done some how-to type videos, but I like doing some repair videos and some other stuff. But again, like I need my workshop. My workshop is going to be set up to shoot videos, and that's one of the layouts that I'm going to do. So that ideally I can actually just leave a camera back there. That's kind of my plan, is I can leave my cameras, I can get everything all set up, my lights and everything, so when I want to shoot a video, I just turn on the lights, I turn on the camera, I'll have a monitor there so I can see what I'm recording at any given time, and it'll be much easier to shoot videos. And I might even see if I can do something. I use OBS to stream, and last live stream I was kind of brainstorming. I was just word vomiting, as you do when you live stream. And I was thinking that maybe there's a way I could use OBS to actually film my repair videos that I do on YouTube. Usually with those repair videos, I would have 2 or 3 cameras set up. I'd start them all. One of them records the sound, and then the other 2 have microphones, but it's not like a lav mic or anything. I shoot all the video, and then I use Sony Vegas to put my videos together. And so that has a really easy multi-camera thing, so you can take all of your footage, 2, 3, 4, 6 cameras, you line them all up, you get them all synced together, you choose which one you want to use for your audio, or all of them, I guess, if you want. You get them all synced together, and then you highlight them and you say this is going to be part of a multi-camera group. And then on your preview screen you have, let's say you're doing a 4-camera shoot. You now have 4 windows in your preview screen, and one of them is highlighted, and that's the one that you're looking at. That's the one that's going to be. You can start playing, and you just sit and you can just click on what camera you want to switch to. So if I'm just sitting there going blah blah blah, I have that one highlighted, and then if I go to work on something, the camera that is pointing at the thing I work on, I just click on that and it moves over to that one. And then once you do all that, you can set your fades and you can do a bunch of different stuff. It's really easy. It's really nice, but you need the footage. I don't know if OBS has the ability to do something like that. Mostly in like, can I record it and then go back and re-edit stuff? So that will be a thing. I don't know if it does. I think it only saves as a 1 output. I don't think it saves as multiple outputs. But maybe there's something we can do with it. But that was beside the point, and I don't remember what I was going to say. I forget. Well, maybe it'll come to me, or maybe someone in chat can remind me where before I went off on a tangent. I was talking about something. I don't know. Yeah, I'll be able to do more coming up. There will be more repair videos, and then I can, if I can get my workshop at home figured out. The only thing I want to do at home is paint. I don't want to paint in here. But it would be nice to be able to set up my workshop at home in a situation where I can have all my paints and everything there. Because I still, like, I have my Holy Grail machine that I want to finish. Not a Holy Grail, like that's the machine I've been looking for, Holy Grail, but the Holy Grail as in it's a Black Knight that I'm converting to Monty Python's Holy Grail. I am so close to being done. The lower playfield is basically almost all finished. The only thing I need to do on the lower playfield is label. I have some labeling. I have my double scoring and triple scoring. That will now be double shrubbery and triple shrubbery. The shrubs are in. The green for the shrubs are in, but those just need the black outlines to make them look like something other than green blobs. And then it needs the lettering, double or triple shrubbery. The upper play field, I do not like the way that it went. The upper playfield has the Knights Who Say Knee instead of the knight on the horse thing or whatever the fuck was up there. I put the Knights Who Say Knee up there, and at first I went very detailed, but it worked against me because I didn't want to go detailed. I wanted it to be in the style of the original Black Knight. I want people to be able to walk up to it and not notice that I've made a lot of changes to it until they kind of get up and they start looking at it. So I had this full color Knights Who Say Knee up there. So then I simplified it. I repainted them again and simplified them, but I think they look shitty now. I don't like the way that they look. So I need to change them again. Just to make them a little bit better. Steve, hello Steve. Steve says, wide pinballs. Is that one of the things that, before I get distracted on another thing, I was talking about wide body? Yeah, so the Holy Grail needs the upper playfield repainted again. I need to figure out what I want to do with the Knights Who Say Knee. And then the single pop bumper up on the upper playfield will be the Holy Hand Grenade. So I just need to figure out something for that, some sort of top for that. And I guess I could 3D print something for the top of it. I was just gonna like sculpt something and put it up there or whatever, but maybe now that I have a 3D printer, I could 3D print something. Or maybe I'll get Jacob to do it. Jacob's like crazy into 3D printing and just say, I need this. Or maybe I'll just sculpt something and put it on there. I could sculpt it and then, actually maybe that's what I'll do because I could possibly break it. So I'll take a pop bumper top. I'll figure, I don't know how much room I have to play with, but I need the cross on top of it, right? The jeweled cross. And I would love for it to have like actual like little rhinestones in it. So I just need to put divots in it and then I can glue the rhinestones in. So I could sculpt it on an actual pop bumper top. I'll sculpt the Holy Hand Grenade thing so that it works with all the divots for the jewels, and then I'll make a silicone mold of it and I'll pour it in resin. I think that I will do that instead of 3D printing because then I'll have the silicone mold if I ever need to make another one. It's super easy to do. And I think resin's going to hold up better than 3D printed stuff. I mean, it doesn't get hit directly by a ball, but it will get hit by a ball. And maybe 3D printed stuff is it. And 3D printed stuff, I'll print it, but then I'm gonna have to like smooth it all out. I'm gonna have to kind of sand it so it doesn't look 3D printed. And that's kind of a pain in the butt. So I'd rather just mold something and cast it in resin. So that's a video I get to make. And then the only other thing I wanted to do to that was I didn't want to change the sound, and changing the sound might be problematic. I would still like it to sound like an original Black Knight. And on that one, everything works on it. The playfield was just trash. In fact, I bought it used completely. Like the playfield was just garbage. And there's videos of me making it even worse because I was testing all the different cleaners on that playfield knowing I was going to repaint it. So it gave me a chance to like actually see, does Comet scrubbering, Comet toilet cleaner, what does that do on pinball machines? It was actually really fun to fart around with that. Like I would never do it on anything else, but since I was going to repaint the whole thing, it was fine. Actually, it wasn't repainting the whole thing. I wanted to leave the scrolly bits on the outside. There's a whole video on me painting that as well. But anyway. Oh yeah, so before I started working on, I bought the machine used in pretty bad shape. I brought it home, and then I spent a bit of time making sure everything worked. So I had to kind of troubleshoot the whole thing, getting it all working and functioning. properly. There were some things that I didn't fix, like a flipper that didn't work quite right, or I don't think the pop bumpered correctly. A couple little switches weren't activating, but it was booting, it was playing, it was scoring, everything was working, sound was working, the voice was working, everything was fine. That's what I wanted to get at that point, because then when I started breaking it all down, I didn't want to have to go back later and go, wait, was this ever working? I wanted to make sure that everything was properly working. So like the switch that didn't work, it didn't work when the ball rolled over it, but it would work if I manually triggered it. It was that kind of a thing. So it's just adjustments. But the one thing that I want the original sound, but I do want it to have Monty Python elements in it. So I bought this little Arduino. I've got like I bought 4 or 5 of them. They were cheap. They were like $15. It's a little tiny board based on the Arduino. It's only like 2 inches square or something. And it has 11 contact points on it, or 11 switches, if I recall. And I don't remember the name of the board, but and it has several megs of memory. And the idea is it has all of these, if I remember, it's 11 different switch points, and then an output. And I think there's some contact points for a couple of different other features, like getting into controlling the card somehow. I don't remember, but essentially what you did is that you have a negative, and then you have your positive for switch 1. When you touch those, it triggers the MP3 file, or maybe even a WAV file, that you've loaded up with a particular name value that tells it that it's switch 1. And then it outputs it to the output and plays it back through the output. And what I thought was really cool about it is that, so if it has, you can just load up 1, and the naming value would be like SW, I don't remember what it is, but let's just say you name it S1. And then when you trigger that, it will play that file S1. Then there's a bunch of options. So if you do like S1-A, then it will play all of that. You trigger it. If it just triggers like this, it will play the entire file. If without the option, it will only play it while that switch is closed. It only plays that amount of it. So if it's a 1 second clip, and the switch is only closed for 30 or for half a second, it will only play a half second of that 1 second clip before it stops. And then there's another option that you can name the file. So let's say you have four sounds that you want to play on switch 1. You name it switch 1-A for all -1. And then there's another switch mechanism after that, and it will play them in order. So you name it switch 1 track 1, switch 1 track 2, switch 1 track 3, switch 1 track 4. And then the switch qualifier after that then would be when you trigger it, it will play them in order. So it'll play the first one, the second one, the third one, the fourth one, or it will randomize them. So it'll play the first one, and then maybe the third one, and then maybe the first one, and then the second one, or whatever. That's what I wanted. On the upper playfield of Holy Grail, I will stack some switches, and I'll even add some. There's a few places where there are rubbers, and there's nothing there, but I can put switches behind them. Those I want to be the Knights Who Say Ni. So you're on the upper playfield with the Knights Who Say Ni, and pretty much anything you hit up there will make it go Ni, right? And there's a whole bunch of different Ni's that I can pull from the movie. So every time you trigger one, you have a different one going. So if you have something going crazy and randomized, just bouncing around up there, they'd be like Ni, 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 Ni. I think it'd be awesome, right? And we'll just be able to layer that. Maybe I'll have another little amp that sends it also out to the speakers. How it outputs is something I can overcome pretty easily. And then other little points, so like when the ball drains, maybe in the background you hear it say "run away" or something. And just little tidbits like that, right? Yeah, I think it'd be pretty nice to just have little hints of Monty Python sounds without going too crazy. And that one's pretty close. And then I didn't know if I was going to bother painting the cabinet. The cabinet's okay-ish. I did think of cleaning it up a little bit, and then there is the shield for Brave Sir Robin that I think had a chicken on it. So I could do, if I recall, Black Knight has on the upper back box, there's a sword with a shield on it. So somewhere there's a shield. I was going to change that to Brave Sir Robin's shield. And then the plastics, there is one plastic with like a little castle on it, and then in front of that I'm going to put the Trojan rabbit. That will be there. And that I can just paint on, right? Well, it's on the backside of the plastic, so I'll just paint it on the backside of the plastic. It'll be black, so when you get a light through it, you'll see it, right? That's the idea. Or maybe I'll have to scrape off the original paint and put black in it. Don't know. Stick around with that. I'll get to that when I get to it. And I wasn't gonna really change any of the plastics that much. I didn't think it would need it, because there's enough elements on the game itself that implies that it's the Holy Grail. The back glass is the big no-go. I would like to have the my how I vision it. It looks just like the back glass for Black Knight, but instead of the knight, it's the Black Knight from the movie, arm off, and he's looking down at his arm, that kind of a thing. I think that would be really funny. And then in the corners, it'd be really funny to have God. I need the Terry Gilliam's God in one corner, and then something else in the other. But then just leave the rest of it pretty much the same. I don't know how easy it would be to mirror it. I'm thinking probably just come up with the file in Photoshop, have it printed on a translate, and then stick it on a piece of glass and call it a day. It might be a little difficult to mirror that. So that's one that's in the workshop that I would like to get going. What else do I have in the workshop? I have Butterfly by Sonic. It'd be fun. I have three Spanish games in here, EMs in here already. So it would be basically I'd be pulling one of those to put in a different old Spanish EM. I don't think I need more of those. And the Butterfly that I have is in okay-ish shape. That's a very simple game. It doesn't bring a whole lot to the table. So I think it would be fine for people who just like to knock the ball around. And most of the games that I bought because they had really cool objectives or something like that. But Butterfly was one of those ones that Sophia and I had gone over to Vancouver Island. We were going to Victoria, and there was a guy there that was selling one of these things, and for like dirt cheap. Didn't work, so it was just while I'm here, I've already paid for the ferry ride, so while I'm here, I might as well buy it. And I bought it, $400 or something. I don't remember how much. So that just might be one that I sell. I fix up and sell. Don't know. What time are we getting to be? It's 9 o'clock. I think we're going to call it a day. I think I'm going to stop streaming now. I've got a couple things I need to do. We close in a few hours. Usually I stream until about 10. But I've been streaming for an hour and a half. And I think I'm going to go because my throat is tired. I've been talking a lot. And there's some stuff I need to do to clean up and everything here. So, because I'm tired. At 11 o'clock, I want to just close the door and lock up, set the things, and get out. So I want to get all of my tasks done before then. So, all right, I'm gonna go. Thanks for watching. I did do, actually, before I go, I should say, my other channel, I was on the Pinballorama channel. I had uploaded some games of me playing games, but it didn't really make sense to have that on the Pinballorama channel. So I moved them over to my personal channel, which is just number 7 Greylands. And I've got music there and a few of these game ones. So I played a game the other day on my day off for about 4 hours, and it's a game called Drive Forever Horizons. What the hell is the name of it? Now I forget. It's like the long drive game, and you get a car and you drive out in the middle of the desert. You drive forever and you collect bits of the car up. And on that one, it has like forever mode where you just drive and drive and drive and collect shit and play around and goof around and stuff. Kind of open world sort of. And then there's another that they call the scenario mode where you're actually looking for aliens. And it actually, I'm pretty happy with the gameplay on that. It was 3.5 hours, maybe 4 hours. Edited down. It was way too late to start editing. Or to finish editing. So I started editing. I'm doing it in 2 episodes. And the first one I should be able to get down to about a half an hour, and the second one I should be able to get down to about a half an hour. There's a lot of, because you're doing a lot of driving in the game, and so there's really nothing interesting that you need to pay attention to when you're just driving for 5 minutes. And then you stop at a location, you rev and you get some loot, you mess around with your car, do whatever. Then you get back in the car and you drive for another 5 or 10 minutes. So that's all of that driving for 5 or 10 minutes is just going to be cut out. But it has a fantastic ending to the game. So yeah, that'll be good. Anyway, so I'm hoping to have that edited and up on Monday or Tuesday. And with that, I'm going to go. And how do I stop streaming on this? So I will see you guys later.